Hit a huge shot, difficult shot. I don't know how she hit it. And then they came down. We did everything on the defensive end. Ingle just hit a very difficult shot, and you have to give credit to her. Looking back, there's nothing we would have done differently on the defensive end. She just hit that shot.
After a shot like that in regulation, how tough is it to regroup in an overtime period?
They had the momentum going in after a shot like that, but we still regrouped. I thought we still battled, we still fought, and we left it all out there on the court.
What were you ladies saying to each other in the huddle between the end of regulation and the overtime?
Just another 5 minutes. Give everyone on this team all you have and fight for your teammates, and you can't ask for anything else, and I think we left it all on the floor.
Angie, what does it mean for you to be able to play some of the best basketball of your career here this tournament, and what's this run been like?
It's been awesome. I mean, all for the teammates. Like, we knew, like, this is our last time at this tournament. We had to give everything we got and leave it all on the floor, and I wouldn't have asked for a better group to do it with.
Going in the break, you guys were up 10. Just the mood in there, the confidence level, just where was that at? And then what did they do coming out of the third quarter to climb back in the game?
I mean, I'm not sure if it was all what they did. We didn't look to score as much early, which we should have kept that momentum going. But they just battled. I mean, they're never gone no matter how far up you are. You have to keep the pressure on them and keep going. So they just came out firing.
You look back at the series, you beat Drake 3 times last year. This year they got you double overtime and overtime. You know, how fun, or, you know, can you kind of describe what these games have been like?
Drake's a great basketball program. They're a great team this year, so it's always a battle, and then being in state, it just brings a little extra. But every single time that we take the court against them, you're gonna get the best of both teams, and I think that definitely happened these last two years. And this year they got us 3 times, but you have to give credit; they're a very good team too.
What was the atmosphere like today from your perspective?
Exciting. It was all excitement. I mean, there was nerves too, but I think from our team, especially from what I could tell, is it was just excitement and energy, and we wanted to be out there and we wanted to give it all we got.
Putting the results aside, how fun was it?
What'd you say? Sorry.
Putting the result aside and ignoring the final score, how fun was it just to play in this game?
It was an awesome experience. I wouldn't trade it. Yeah, you're always disappointed in the outcome, but I mean, it was a battle, the overtime championship game. You can't ask for much more.
Go ahead.
An
Yeah, I definitely do. I definitely think we are. I mean, that's 2 overtime wins with that team. We give them a battle every time, and we have some pretty good wins out there. I think we are.
Okay, any other questions for Angie or Madison? Okay, thank you, ladies.
Especially in the first half.
What from your perspective, were the biggest things that changed in that third?
Well, I think when you look at the end of the second quarter going into half, they have the 3-point play. It's a little different being up 13 and 10. So they had a little momentum to start the half. And then third quarter, I thought we got a little stagnant offensively. We didn't have the same aggressiveness to start the third quarter that we did to start the first 2 quarters. And with Drake, you have to be able to continue to score because eventually they're going to find a way to score. And you have to be able to counter that. And I didn't think we did that to start the third quarter, and that's where they kind of got back in the basketball game.
Was it a sense that the ladies maybe felt a little too comfortable coming?
No, never. Nope, not at all. Not at all.
Defensively, that final possession, did you have a foul to give there, or was that a consideration, or I imagine you're pretty happy with
No.
that shot that...
We wouldn't have done anything differently defensively. We switched out high. We had our 6-1 post on her. She makes a tough shot. And the thing that you have to be able to do is first of all, Caitlin Ingo is a fantastic player. She's one of the best. She is a gamer. And she made a tough shot. There is absolutely nothing we would do differently because we're not going to give up a 3. We switch out. We have a 6-1 kid on her. She makes a tough shot, and you got to give her credit. She's a gamer.
When you look at the plays Engel made at the end of regulation and overtime, is it just a matter of a great player beating you?
Yeah, absolutely. Senior leadership, great player. It was Engel time. She knows exactly when to take over and when to get everyone else involved, and that's something you can't teach. And that's what makes her very special.
I've asked you this a couple times, but just when you look at your guys' body of work and what you were able to do in the non-conference and hanging with Drake and your match, I mean, do you feel that that's enough for that work?
Absolutely. When you look at our strength of schedule, you look at our RPI, and you look at the fact that we have 2 top 25 wins, there's no question in my mind we should be in the tournament.
What's your plan for selection Monday, and how do you kind of approach that scenario?
Well, I'm going to leave that to our captains. If our captains want to get together, we will get together in our locker room and watch it as a team. If not, then we'll watch it our own, get together. But I have a feeling that they're gonna want to come together. But I wanted to give them a little time to think about that.
Seems like, obviously you're playing postseason basketball one way or the other, and it's been a team that's done a good job of recovering from losses. What's your thoughts going forward on what this team still has left to maybe accomplish here in postseason play?
Well, I think it's important that we regroup, and we've been able to do that all year long. We'll pick ourselves up, and this will hurt for a little while, and we'll get ourselves ready to play. What this team has been able to understand is each day is a new day, and it's an opportunity for us to continue to play together, and that's something that we've talked about from day one, and we will continue to talk about it because it's what allows us to be successful, the opportunity to play together and enjoy those moments.
Any other questions for Coach Warren?
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Coach. All right, welcome, ladies. First of all, congratulations on the victory. We'll start off with your opening statement, Coach, and then we'll move into questions for the ladies.
Well, what a game for a great conference. And I tell you, we haven't had great first halves. I think that's kind of an understatement in the last 3 days. But today I thought you and I did an incredible job. They're a great team. We should have 2 NCAA tournament teams in this league, and I strongly believe that. I think they're very talented, they're well coached. And I'm really, really proud of this group. I'm so proud of this team. I'd like us to start a little bit better, but the third quarters in the last 3 days have been pretty phenomenal for us. And I think that, these 2 really willed it today. And I thought, I think you've gotten to see so many great things from Lizzie Wendell and the way she makes people around her better. And today I thought Caitlin Ingle did an incredible job of just doing exactly what her team needed. And she read the game beautifully. She read her team beautifully, and she just stayed steady and made some really big plays in the process. So really proud of this group, really proud of you and I. We've had some epic battles this year. We've had in the past too, but this year especially. And we're both going to be doing some things in the postseason.
Okay, we'll start taking questions for the players now.
Caitlin, can you kind of take us through that moment from when Ellie hit that shot to put you and I up to the moment you tied the game there at the end of regulation?
Yeah, I mean, a huge shot by Ellie, obviously, really big play, and the play we drew up wasn't the play that was run, but they did a really good job of taking away the options, and I saw the time clicking down, and I just, I knew I had to get a shot off, and I'm just happy it went in, honestly.
What were you looking for, or what were you trying to
It was a baseline drive for Lizzie on the drift, and they did a really good job of hedging the screen, and so I saw her back off a little bit, and I knew I had enough room to get a shot off. So.
Can you talk a little about the feeling of shooting over center and see that ball come in at the buzzer?
Yeah, it's a real feeling. I'm just happy it went in. You have to take the shot at that point. There was only 2 seconds left, and so just knew that if we got it to overtime, we'd be okay. I really believe in this team, and I'm proud of the way we fought back in the second half. So.
Today plays in overtime as well. How determined were you to finish that game off?
Yeah, it's a long time coming, and I knew that we'd be all right. And I'm really, like I said, I'm just really proud of the team. We made a lot of big plays. We stepped up in a lot of ways, so on both ends.
What's it say about this team that the ladies do stay calm, cool, and collected in situations where the ladies do fall behind a little bit?
Yeah, I think that just comes from Lizzie and I just having a lot of experience. We've been in a lot of situations, so I think that our younger players can go off of that and lean on us and stay steady. And we did a really good job in the fourth quarter in overtime and just the whole second half, really. But I think that's where it comes from.
Do you think having the battle the last 2 days before today, in the second half, do you think that really prepared you guys to take it to the second half today?
I think we just have to come in every day ready to battle and every game ready to battle. And so, I think going into halftime every day, we knew, or each game, we knew that we had to, come ready to battle the second half. And so we knew it today. And, I think our depth really helped us this tournament in the last 2 days of having 2 tough games before this. And, just being able to stay steady and stay really, everyone giving us good minutes tonight. And so I think that's really what helped us, and especially going into overtime.
Just what you guys were able to do in conference in this tournament and in the non-conference, just thoughts on, now that you guys are 1 over 10, just thoughts on tomorrow and where you guys might end up and, what going forward?
We're going to then prepare for the week to be ready to go. So.
Just talk a little bit about how fun it was to play in this game and in this environment.
Yeah, I mean, it was a really fun game. They're always, it's always really competitive against them, and they had a good crowd. We had a good crowd, and so the atmosphere was just made it really fun to play in, especially it being the championship. Just a little bit more on the line, and so I think both teams played a good game, and we played, like Caitlin said, we made some big plays in the second half, and we really adjusted and stayed really steady and got the W, and that's what matters. So.
Any last questions for Caitlin or Lizzie? Okay, thank you very much, ladies. Congratulations. We'll take questions now for Coach Baranczyk.
What was going through your mind when you and I was starting to pull away during that first half, especially late in the second quarter?
Here we go again. No, honestly, I mean, you watched them yesterday. I mean, they hit a lot of shots. That's what they do. They're a great shooting team. They're a great fundamental team. They had great energy. And I think the biggest thing that was going through my mind was we've got to get steady. You know, they rocked us. They did. And, you know, I thought they threw the first punches and we needed to adjust better. And our frustration from every angle came out. And so we needed to just regroup, re-steady ourselves, and just focus on the things that we can control. And in the second half, I think that we did that.
Coach, at halftime, I think they're up like 26-11 on getting rebounds. Was there a concerted effort to go to the boards more as opposed to getting back and transitioning and try to get some more offensive rebounds there?
There should have been in the first half as well, a concerted effort, but you're right, there wasn't. It was obviously talked about in the second half, but I haven't even seen a stat sheet yet, so I have no idea, but I know we rebounded better in the second half. I thought we did a much better job of being intentional about both ends and trying to crash a little bit more. They did a great job of limiting our second chance points. And I think we did a much better job in the second half of being able to limit that. But again, I think it also came from when you're really steady on the defensive end, you're in better position to rebound. And so we were a lot more steady in the second half than we were in the first.
This weekend as a whole, with all three games having struggles in it, just how beneficial do you think this will be, you know, moving forward into next weekend?
This is a great conference, and this is a great conference tournament. So to be able to come and play in front of this many people in this kind of arena, and we had 3 good games, and that has to prepare you for the next level. And there's going to be a lot of internal lessons that we take in terms of starting better and, you know, those kinds of things. But I think the physicality of the games, I think the way that teams defended us for a third time, you know, I mean, you get to see, that's the hard thing about our league too, is that you play people for a third time when you're here. And so they're trying new things. They're trying things that worked the first time. They're trying, you know, different game plans, and every one of the coaching staffs had a different game plan for us too that we hadn't really seen. And so I think we did a good job of adjusting in the second half. We need to be able to adjust a little bit earlier, but there is no question that this prepared us for the next tournament.
Out of all the internal lessons you mentioned, what's going to be the big one you ladies going to have to focus on heading into next weekend?
You know, I think one of the biggest things is how fresh we actually are, and to understand that we were able to play a lot of minutes. And so it's not even in these 3 days that we talk about, oh, we had depth, and so we got to play, you know, a lot of people, you know, higher minutes in the third game in 3 days. The reality is we've gotten to play a lot of people. We've played all 10 people throughout our season. And so when you do that, then you're prepared to be able to play right now. And so I think that's going to be a big thing for us to really know and understand. And the other piece is just to trust what we've done, trust what gets you there, right? I mean, there's so many times where we try to put a wrinkle in things or do things different when it's already working the way that we know how. And so we've got to really focus on ourselves a little bit better, tighten up a little other, you know, stay steady on the defensive end. Our offensive flow needs to be better. And we just have to control what we can control. I know I've said a lot of things that are out there, but really, are obvious statements. But really, our team does an incredible job of staying very present, and our team does an incredible job of really believing in us. And when we can do that, then good things happen. And when we don't, then not good things happen.
Just as the season's gone and what you were able to do in non-conference, and then obviously this run here throughout the schedule, just how rewarding will it be tomorrow, you know, when you hear your guys' name called, where that would be?
Yeah, that's a great question, and one that honestly I haven't even processed yet. I know we should process, but we haven't. And this season has been a really special season. And you know, you look at these 2 name tags up here, and you throw Courtney Rush. What they've done for this program and what they've done for this conference is absolutely incredible. I mean, you're not even talking about just region and our state. I mean, you're talking about they've brought Drake and they've brought the Missouri Valley Conference to a national level. We've had great teams that we've played against in the past in our league. There's great teams in our league right now. Like I said, I really, really hope that both us and Northern Iowa are in the NCAA tournament, because I think we're two very good teams that should be. But we're going to enjoy this one, and then we're going to really enjoy our name coming up there tomorrow.
How important was it for you guys to get the ball inside and score from the inside in that second half?
You know, that's just what we do. We need to have good ball movement, and so when we can have good ball and player movement, I think in the first half we really tried to just pound it in, and we stayed inside, and our spacing wasn't great. I think in the third quarter especially, our spacing got a lot better. So we were able to get it inside. When we just kind of would stay in there and have too many people in the paint, we were clogging the paint a little bit too much, I think, in the first half. But it's always important for us to be able to get the best read that we can get. And if that's an open shot from the outside, great. If it's an open shot from the inside, great. But it is nice to be able to get really good movement for high percentage shots.
Is the third quarter Ladies' best quarter this season? Do you feel like I know
This tournament season, absolutely.
But yeah, that's because
You know, I don't know. I think we've had a lot of great third quarters, and I think we've started games great. You know, I mean, you look at a couple weeks ago or however long ago it was, we had Missouri State at home, and it was a high-scoring game, and, you know, Liza Fruant goes off, and we had this amazing game. And the reason we won that game was because we started so well. And so I don't know. I think this team just, you know, we're going to start better. We're going to figure that piece out. I'm not worried about that piece, but I think the biggest highlight from this team is the ability to adjust. You've heard me talk about that now for the third day, because you don't win championships on plan A, and I don't know what letter we're on right now, and it's not at the beginning of the alphabet, I can promise you that, but they've just constantly adjusted. And so when Caitlin was talking about, you know, those two being steady, their belief never gets compromised. It just never does. And nothing is too big. It's another game, and it's another game that they get to play.
Was there ever a thought of fouling there and to not allow the three-pointer?
You know, we talked about that in the timeout. You know, it's a philosophy thing, but you also have to be really careful with that too, because they are such a good three-point shooting team, and they all have a quick trigger on it, and so you don't want to foul on the shot. But we knew we had some to give, and we knew that we really wanted to get a stop because we were playing better defense, and so I think we could get a stop. We didn't, obviously, but we also knew that the game could keep going because we were up one, and so we knew that we would have another chance because they'd probably shoot earlier in the clock.
You spoke yesterday about how nobody thinks they're better than somebody else. Does that really show tonight that Inkle just takes over and allows you guys to tie the game to 4 overtime and then that overtime period?
Yeah, she didn't take over the game because she just wanted to take over the game. She took over the game because that's what her team needed, and that's what she's done every year. I mean, she's as true of a point guard as I've ever been around, because what she does, you know, she can have 5 points in one game and 11 assists, you know, and she can have today where she needed to score for us because that's what her team needed. So it's never been, that's the beauty of what both of those two have done. And that's why we've done it. They're great players that make people around them better and believe in something bigger than them. And so they're willing to just do whatever it takes. And sometimes the ball just doesn't go in the hole, or we get a little frustrated. And I think Caitlin saw that today, and she just knew what her team needed. She felt what her team needed, and she did what her team needed. I mean, it was impressive. I mean, it's impressive to be able to, you know, you can't take any coaching credit on that. She's got that.
I imagine you guys will get together tomorrow to watch shows. What's kind of the itinerary there?
Yeah, I know we'll be together, and I know we have incredible fans that are probably still out there hanging out. And so I'm sure that they'll want to be a part of it too. And so we'll have some kind of a reception, some kind of a celebration of what we've done so far. And the best part about where we're sitting right now is that it's not done yet. And that's a lot of times when you sit up here at the end of your season, at the end of the conference tournament, it's done. And so for us, it's not done yet. And this is we're going to celebrate this. So I can promise you that, because we've come a long way. And, you know, I've shared that statistic over and over again. When those two were freshmen, their first 7 games in conference, they were 1-6. And since that point, they've lost 10 games. In 3.5 years in conference, they've lost 10 games, and they lost 6 of their first 7. I mean, that's, if we don't sit there and celebrate that and celebrate how far we've come, then none of this is worth it. And so we're gonna definitely celebrate this one, and then we'll figure out how to start better when we get to the tournament. So,
Any final questions? Okay, thank you very much, Coach.
I appreciate
Congratulations
you guys
again.
for being
Thanks,
here.
everybody.
Thank you.